Section 25 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by James O'Connor. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Employ to enmity. Employ. Synonyms: call, engage, engross, hire, make use of, use, use up. In general terms it may be said that to employ is to devote to one's purpose; to use is to render subservient to one's purpose. What is used is viewed as more absolutely an instrument than what is employed. A merchant employs a clerk; he uses pen and paper. As a rule, use is not said of persons except in a degrading sense, as the conspirators used him as a go-between. Hence the expression common in some religious circles, that God would use me, is not to be commended. It also has the fault of representing the human worker as absolutely a passive and helpless instrument. The phrase is altogether unscriptural. The Scripture says, "We are laborers together with, co-workers with, God." That which is used is often consumed in the using, or in familiar phrase, used up, as we used 20 tons of coal last winter. In such cases we could not substitute employ. A person may be employed in his own work, or in that of another. In the latter case the service is always understood to be for pay. In this connection, employ is a word of more dignity than hire. A general is employed in his country's service. A mercenary adventurer is hired to fight a tyrant's battles. It is unsuitable, according to present usage, to speak of hiring a pastor. The Scripture indeed says of the preacher, "The laborer is worthy of his hire." But this sense is archaic, and hire now implies that the one hired works directly and primarily for the pay, as expressed in the noun hireling. A pastor is properly said to be called, or when the business side of the transaction is referred to, engaged, or possibly employed at a certain salary. Prepositions: employ in, on, upon, or about a work, business, etc. For a purpose; at a stipulated salary. In. Verb. Synonyms: break off, cease, close, complete, conclude, desist, expire, finish, quit, stop, terminate, wind up. That ends or is ended of which there is no more, whether or not more was intended or needed; that is closed, completed, concluded, or finished, which has come to an expected or appropriate end. A speech may be ended almost as soon as begun, because of the speaker's illness or of tumult in the audience. In such a case the speech is neither closed, completed, nor finished, nor in the strict sense concluded. An argument may be closed with nothing proved. When an argument is concluded, all that is deemed necessary to prove the point has been stated. To finish is to do the last thing there is to do; as, "I have finished my course." 2 Timothy 4:7. Finish has come to mean not merely to complete in the essentials, but to perfect in all the minute details, as in the expression, "to add the finishing touches." The enumeration is completed; the poem, the picture, the statue is finished. To terminate may be either to bring to an arbitrary or to an appropriate end; as, "He terminated his remarks abruptly." The spire terminates in a cross. A thing stops that comes to rest from motion, or the motion stops or ceases when the object comes to rest. Stop frequently signifies to bring or come to a sudden and decided cessation of motion, progress, or action of any kind. Compare do, transact. Antonyms: see synonyms for begin. End, noun. Synonyms: accomplishment, achievement, bound, boundary, cessation, close, completion, conclusion, consequence, consummation, design, effect, expiration, extent, extremity, finale, finis, finish, fulfillment, goal, intent, issue, limit, outcome, period, point, purpose, result, termination, terminus, tip, utmost, uttermost. The end is the terminal part of a material object that has length. The extremity is distinctively the terminal point, and may thus be but part of the end in the general sense of that word. The extremity is viewed as that which is most remote from some center or some mean or standard position. The southern end of South America includes all Patagonia. The southern extremity or point is Cape Horn. Tip has nearly the same meaning as extremity, but is said of small or slight and tapering objects, as the tip of the finger. Point in such connections is said of that which is drawn out to exceeding fineness or sharpness, as the point of a needle, a fork, or a sword. Extremity is said of something considerable. We do not speak of the extremity of a needle. Terminus is chiefly used to designate the end of a line of travel or transportation, specifically the furthermost station in any direction on a railway, or by extension the town or village where it is situated. Termination is the Latin and more formal word for the Saxon end, but is chiefly used of time, words, undertakings, or abstractions of any kind. Expiration signifies the coming to an end in the natural course of things, as the expiration of a year or of a lease. It is used of things of some consequence. We do not ordinarily speak of the expiration of an hour or of a day. Limit implies some check to or restraint upon further advance, right, or privilege, as the limits of an estate. Compare boundary. A goal is an end sought or striven for, as in a race. For the figurative senses of end and its associated words, compare the synonyms for the verb end, also for aim, consequence, design. Antonyms: see synonyms for beginning. Endeavor, verb. Synonyms: attempt, essay, strive, try, undertake. To attempt is to take action somewhat experimentally with the hope and purpose of accomplishing a certain result. To endeavor is to attempt strenuously and with firm and enduring purpose. To attempt expresses a single act; to endeavor, a continuous exertion. We say, I will endeavor, not I will attempt, while I live. To attempt is with the view of accomplishing; to essay with a view of testing our own powers. To undertake is to accept or take upon oneself as an obligation, as some business, labor, or trust. The word often implies complete assurance of success, as I will undertake to produce the witness. To strive suggests little of the result, much of toil, strain, and contest in seeking it. I will strive to fulfill your wishes, i.e., that is, I will spare no labor and exertion to do it. Try is the most comprehensive of these words. The original idea of testing or experimenting